Oklahoma's playing much better now.
It's a different.
The Tropics are head coached by Clay Roberts. And introducing their team here tonight. Wearing number 1, Peter Sliwa. Wearing number 2, Rafael Nascimento. Wearing number 5, Lucas Texera. Wearing number 6, Christian Landon. Wearing number 7, Victor Pereras. Wearing number 8, Marco Rodriguez. Wearing number 10, Freddie Buchan. Wearing number 11, Ricardo Davis. Wearing number 15, Kevin Rockwell. Wearing number 16, Armando Teller. Wearing number 17, Joanne Lady. Wearing number 18, Victor Rojas. Wearing number 22, Anthony Arrigo. Wearing number 23, J.P. Reyes. And wearing number 90, Lucas Monteleras. Once again, the Tropics are head coached by Clay Roberts. Fans, our officials tonight are sponsored by lowvisionmd.org. If you know someone suffering from basic complications, color blindness, macular degeneration, or contact lens issues, contact lowvisionmd.org. Our officials tonight, Ryan Sigich, Sean Papperman, Yanko Bettina, Justin Hess, and Terrence Mull.
Want me to try and shoot this for the filter? See if it shows up. As soon as the lights go out, just blow it out.
with a record of 1-1. Welcome very much to tonight's broadcast on this Black Friday as the Harrisburg.
You've been listening to the Harrisburg Heat on the Heat Soccer Network.
Right now, and
stay tuned all season long for the best in indoor.
We are going to be bringing a broadcast to you tonight live here from the Fremont Mortgage Field at the Pennsylvania Farm Show Arena, and we are blessed with the presence of Heat keeper Nick Noble tonight. Nick, thank you for joining the broadcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
It is our pleasure, and we are going to break right now for the national anthem here from the Farm Show Arena, and we will stand and honor America, and we will be back here on the Heat Soccer Network.
Check out the Harrisburg Heat merchandise stand at all Harrisburg Heat home games with new replica jerseys, both the home and the away, quarter zips, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, and so much more. It's the Harrisburg Heat merchandise, all the stuff you need to be a Harrisburg Heat fan.
Arena. Max Stevens along with Heat keeper Nick Noble tonight on the Heat Soccer Network as the Heat gets set to take on the Florida Tropics tonight. In net will be Peter Sleewood. He has a record of 1-1 tonight. He'll be going against Hugo De Silva for the Harrisburg Heat. Hugo comes in with a record of 1-1, and he has a goals against average right now in the area of 4. My computer is not working properly at the moment. Yeah, he has a goals against average of 4.94 heading into tonight's match against the Florida Tropics. And Nick, what are your impressions of this Florida Tropics soccer team?
Well, they're a new team to the league, so I expect them to come out run and gun. It's hard to get a kind of a vibe or a feel on new teams to the league. Myself being new to the league, but again, I know the Heat haven't seen this team in the past, so we expect them to be a bit run and gun, a bit hectic at start, and then try to get their feel of the game.
They won their first ever, their inaugural game in the MASL, defeating a decent San Diego Sockers club from out west, and then they struggled against Baltimore, losing 7-1.
Yeah, that's an impressive win to get your first win against San Diego. Most teams are going to struggle against Baltimore, especially in Baltimore. Baltimore has a tendency to wear teams down with their overall technical ability. So I expect them, Florida, to come out, high pressure, high pace to start, try to get some early goals, and then settle down from there.
Fantastic, fantastic analysis there from Heat keeper Nick Noble, and he is kind enough to join us on the broadcast tonight, the West Virginia University product.
Yes, sir.
He's a proud Mountaineer.
Oh, yeah, West by God.
So the opening kickoff to Santa Claus from Val Teixeira one of the Heat captains, and we are getting set for soccer tonight here from the Farm Show Large Arena at Fremont Mortgage Field, and it's going to be a good one tonight between the Tropics with a record of 1-1 and the Heat at 1-2. The Heat have a couple of matches coming up next Saturday. They'll be home on December 3rd against Cedar Rapids. They'll be home on the 10th against Syracuse. Then they travel to Syracuse, kind of a weird 2-week home and home there. The 23rd they'll be in Syracuse, and the 30th they'll be back home here against Nick's aforementioned Baltimore Blast, and that should be a good game as well. Starting Freddie Muhin, he's also the assistant captain, number 10. Victor Pereras is also starting out there tonight. It looks like number 23, J.P. Reyes, is also out there, and number 22, Anthony Arico. For the Heat, we've got Teixeira up front, Gattaca. It looks like number 13, Stephen Basso, is out there, also along with Lucio Gonzaga and Marcos Chantel to start for the Heat. As it worked into the Heat zone, the Heat now try to work it out against the Tropics, and the Tropics keep it in there. Teixeira controls, gets it over to Gattaca. Gattaca, back to Chantel. Chantel over to the keeper, De Silva. De Silva back to Chantel. Kind of a dangerous pass there in front of Freddie Muhin. Back over to De Silva. De Silva kicks it down, and Val Teixeira heads it to the corner. Basso tries to pick it up there. Teixeira, a kick just wide of the net. A shot by Ricardo Carvalho, and it is a save by Peter Sliwa. As the Tropics control in their own end to Sliwa. He kicks it out to center field, midfield, and kicks it out to Gonzaga. Gonzaga down in the corner to Gattaca along the boards. If you're looking for the Middletown football game, don't be afraid to switch to the other stream. Middletown playoff football is on the other stream right on WMSS. WMSSFM.com. Ball is kicked out of play to the top of the keeper's net in the Tropics end.
Should be top of the box here.
Nick says it will come out to the top here for a
they're going to give
restart.
a corner kick. It was close.
It's in the right area code, right?
Hopeful.
Here comes the restart. Tom Miller to restart it for the Heat. Miller kicks it up top to Basso. Basso in the slot, and it's blocked by a Tropics player. Tropics back on the other way into the Heat zone. In front, left, in
Good
front,
save.
shot. It is a save on Pereras. Another shot and a save, and Gattaca heads it to De Silva, and that ends the Florida threat.
Yeah, you sometimes see that on set pieces or corner kicks. You get counterattacked quickly, so it's important to get behind the ball, which the Heat did pretty well there. Credit to Florida. They did well with the counterattack, got a good opportunity.
Heat looking to get a play set up now. Back to De Silva as he controls in his own end. Along the side now into the Florida zone. Gonzaga controls. Gonzaga, I wasn't sure if that was a pass or a shot, and Teixeira didn't look like he knew whether it was either, as it dribbles back out to De Silva in the Heat end.
Well, the indoor, it's kind of in between a shot or a cross. You're just kind of aiming for that back post and hope someone's there.
Hey, that's a good point. As battle for possession at midfield here. Carvalho works his way through midfield. Carvalho dribbles into the Heat attack end. Now controlling for the Tropics is Pereras. Back to the goaltender, back over to Pereras, and he gets it in. Gonzaga controls now for the Heat in the Florida end. Carvalho at the top of the key. He shoots it as a save. Teixeira looks to control on the sideboard, just down from the Heat bench. And Gonzaga controls, and he kicks it back to De Silva, and the Heat will reset.
Yeah, I would say it's a good start for Harrisburg. Everyone's getting good touches, getting good shots on frame. Both goalkeepers have made good saves so far.
11:55 to go, opening quarter. No score here from the Farm Show Large Arena. It's Fremont Mortgage Field. As the ball trickles past the Heat players back into the Heat end, and De Silva controls again for the Heat. Kicks it into the attack end for the Heat. Basso controls. Now Chago at midfield. Working it in is Burche. Burche shot just too tall for the net, and it will be a stoppage of play as the Tropics will restart things the other way.
There's not a shot that Burche doesn't like.
The Tropics control. Rodriguez sent it back to the keeper. Keeper now bringing it out, kicks it up into the Heat zone. Mujin controls. Mujin banking it off the boards for his teammate. A shot and a score from Marco Rodriguez.
It's a bit unfortunate. It looked like Steven Basso was in a good position, just kind of lost track of it or misjudged it off the boards and snuck in behind him.
So Marco Rodriguez scores in under 3 minutes into this ball game. And the 11-17 mark, Marco Rodriguez makes it 1-0 Florida. The goal coming at the 3:43 mark. Basso, a shot in front and is saved by Sliwa.
You know, even though the Heat gave up the early goal, I think they still had the better of the first few minutes, so I think they need to stay positive and stick with their game plan.
Carvalho aggressive forechecking in the attack end as Chantel keeps it in, and they almost scored on Sliwa there. Did he get Sliwa out of position a little bit there, Nick?
Yeah, you can see the Heat are trying to put high pressure on, and the few times they have succeeded, Florida's turned the ball over in compromising situations.
In case you missed it, Nick Noble is joining us. He's on the color analysis tonight, and doing a fantastic job. We appreciate his help. 10 minutes, 25 seconds to go, opening quarter. Heat trailed by 1. Controlling is Arico. Arico gets it into his teammate in the slot area. A shot to De Silva, and he slowed it enough for another Heat defender to come in. It was Basso, and kick it away.
It's good team defending. It's a bad turnover and a bad spot, but team is there for each other and back each other up.
Yeah, sometimes a goaltender, Nick, can kind of create his own good luck in some ways. Is that accurate?
As a goalkeeper, all you're trying to do is put yourself in good spots and maybe get touches here and there, and then hopefully your team gets behind you.
As the ball is sent to the top of the net by Freddie Mujin. And
yeah, Steven Basso got in a good spot there.
Yeah, but he put himself in a good position in the standpoint from he slowed it down and then enabled his teammate to come in and help make a play.
That's a great save.
Mujin calls for a timeout here on the restart. We'll take a timeout as well. 1-0 Florida Tropics over the Harrisburg Heat. 9:52 to go in the opening period of play on the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network. Restart, it's going to be number 7, Victor Barreras, as he looks to restart for this Tropics club. Gets it out to his teammate. Nice shot, but a save on number 18, Victor Rojas.
It was a good play. It was a good shot on goal. Hugo came up with a great save again.
As a header falls harmlessly in there by Freddie Mujin, and De Silva makes the save. The Heat will look to regroup now on the attack. At midfield, intercepted by number 22, Arico, and Arico is looking for a tripping call. He gets it, and the foul keeps the possession arrow in favor of the Tropics until a save is made on a harmless shot by Marco Rodriguez, and the Heat set up the attack now. Coming into the Tropics zone where Rodriguez takes over again, gets it back to his keeper, Sliwa. Sliwa looking to set things up now. Sliwa kicks it into the Harrisburg end. And battling there, number 11, Richard Diegas, shot it off the boards, and it didn't didn't get too far. As De Silva controls now. De Silva, as the Heat try to set up the attack. Burche on the right side at midfield. Kicks it into the end, but it's headed out by a Tropics player. Sliwa kicks it in as under some huge duress. And Leandro Alver Duarte controls in the corner for Harrisburg in his own end. Now it's up to Thiago Freitas. Thiago at midfield dribbling into the end. He's got Burche with him. On the left side he's got Meller. Meller tries a kick, but no sail there. And Burche trying to shot just wide. And now a whistle stops play. Burche is down. Looks like he's in pain, but he gets up. And it looks like the possession arrow will favor the Heat after the stoppage.
It's a good opportunity here.
So Heat will restart things in the attack end, in Florida's end. Burche setting things up. Tries a kick and is saved. And actually one of the Florida Tropics players made the save. It looked like it was number 16, Armando Tello. Now number 15, Quackwell controls. And now he's taken away by Freitas. And Thiago Freitas and the Heat are trying to get things going the other way. And while they do, Basso, I believe, was fouled.
Going back to that opportunity, it's Burche did well to beat the goalkeeper. Just happened to hit the guy in the foot and staying on the line. It's a bit unlucky for Harrisburg.
Carvalho, a shot, bounces all the way back to midfield. Freitas controls. And now it bounced off a Tropics player and it goes all the way back to De Silva. De Silva to Chantel to set things up. Back to De Silva. What a Basso on the left side. Basso into Carvalho. And the ball is batted off the boards, and now the Tropics control. Ball is booted in by number 8, Rodriguez. A shot just wide for the Tropics. Now Rodriguez controls, and he is tripped up.
Just looks like Harrisburg's just a second late into tackles and into holding up balls. Just a step behind each time.
That was a Rico that was tripped up, and now the Tropics will restart things with Freddie Mugin. With Rico in the area there. And Mugin and Rico talking things over, and we'll see. Now Rico is going to take the restart. He kicks it on to Silva, and a save is made with 7:06 to go here in the opening quarter. Heat down 1-0. Sliwa touched it, and now it's back to Sliwa. Now to Nascimento. And Carvalho bounces it to himself off the board, but Sliwa intercepts it and foiled his scoring attempt there. Now it's battled for in the Florida zone. Gonzaga keeps it in. Ball rolled down to Sliwa. Sliwa out of his box, but kicking it forward to Rodriguez. Rodriguez back to Sliwa. Now Nascimento controls in his own zone for the Tropics. Guarded closely by Carvalho. Now kicked into the Heat end, and Chantel takes it and kicks it into the other end, and now he loses possession, and Meller there to help him out, or that could have been a scoring chance. Now Gonzaga controls in his own zone, giving it to De Silva. De Silva to midfield, where Rodriguez keeps it in midfield. And the Tropics get back into their own zone, and Val Teixeira gives chase into the corner, but Sliwa kicks it out. Now Meller controls, bounces it off a player of the Tropics in the Tropics end. And the Tropics are having a tough time clearing here. Number 22, Arica controls now in the Tropics zone, being harassed by Teixeira. And now Teixeira getting some help from Thiago Freitas. Teixeira now to the top of the key, and dribbles a little bit too loosely, and the Tropics are able to move possession back into the Heat zone. De Silva, had a player charging and kicked it out of bounds. That was a scary play there, Nick.
Not much the goalkeeper can do there. It was a tough ball back. He had immediate pressure. Probably the only other thing he could have done was take a dribble past the attacking player, but it was very difficult.
but pretty good move considering everything there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to give any free kicks. That's top of the box here, but again, there wasn't much other option there that I saw.
Number 7, Pereiras to restart for the Tropics. 5:21 to go, opening quarter, 1-0 Heat trail. And he does not take the kick. The kick is taken by Mujin as it bounced away. And now a whistle, and the Heat will start things off in their own zone. Berche kicks it down. Bounces it off the boards, and a whistle again.
That's going to be top of the box as well, going out of bounds from behind the yellow. That's not a good decision. Should be a little more patient. The Heat have technical ability. They should be more patient with the ball and try to build out.
I lost track of the ball. Did it go out of bounds
It
down
went
there?
out of bounds over the rails.
So as Nick points out, the restart comes to the top of the box, and it gives Florida a number of options. Heat will have to work to defend this here. Again, Pereiras lined up to take the shot. He does, and the wall in front of him blocks it. Possession by Mujin, a shot just wide. And the Tropics control at midfield.
That's kind of the one we talked about earlier, that shot or pass to the back post. They were there, just missed it. The Heat need to settle. It's only 1-0. They've had good opportunities, just haven't converted.
And the ball sails too wide of the boards, and the Heat possession arrow will favor them on the restart when the ball comes back in play. Yeah, excellent point, Nick. It's a fight for kind of space and chances here early on in the first quarter.
It's indoor soccer. Every team's going to get chances. It's kind of who converts, which goalie is going to make the saves. A lot of luck goes into it. You just need to be able to create your own luck.
Sure. Good point. Yeah, sometimes, those caroms off the boards come kind of funny.
You never know. The Harrisburg had one blocked off the line, had a few that just fell to someone. It could be 4-1. Either team probably at this point.
Marco Rodriguez has the only marker. It came at 11:17 here of the opening quarter of the match. And some jockeying for position between Lucio Gonzaga and Marco Rodriguez. And the referees give the restart arrow to the Florida Tropics. Sliwa comes all the way out to midfield now. Now he's in the Harrisburg zone, and he kicks it and way over top of the goal. And now things will start again the opposite way for Harrisburg.
Well, when the goalkeeper gets past midfield, he's in his own half. He only has 5 seconds to get rid of the ball. So when he crosses the midfield line, that rule is dropped. You can hold the ball as long as you want. So sometimes you'll see a goalkeeper take it across midfield.
Good point. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Controlling in the corner is Gattaca. He's got 2 Tropics players harassing him, though, and Sliwa gets the ball, and he makes a save, and now he dishes it out to a player on the right side. And Gonzaga intercepts in the Harrisburg zone, and he'll want to set things up now for Harrisburg. Gattaca all the way to Meller on the left-hand side. Meller dribbles in. Shot! Just high. So 3:40 to go in the opening frame. 1-0 in favor of the Tropics, with the only marker coming from Marco Rodriguez. Heat will restart here with Lucio Gonzaga. Gonzaga starting in the corner here. Leaves it for Meller. Meller, a shot, save, and the Tropics control in their own zone, try to work it out. Number 22, Arico, has it now. He's on his way, dribbling in, a shot! Nice save by De Silva to keep it 1-0 Harrisburg trailing the Tropics.
The timing was just off, a little off on Harrisburg's restart. It almost cost him a goal, giving up the counterattack.
It's amazing how a restart down there can almost cost you a goal down here.
Well, you want to score goals on restart, so you put a lot into it, and you kind of disregard the defense, and sometimes it comes back to bite you.
Another excellent point. Nick Noble, if you're joining us late, is on the broadcast with us tonight, Heat keeper, and he's doing a good job up here in the booth with us as he does down there for the Heat. Controlling their own zone is Florida. Sliwa, the goalkeeper, will control it now. Gets it into the Heat zone. Gives it up to number 5, Lucas Texera. Now it's controlled by Armando Tello, and Gattaca got his feet on it, and now the referees stop play, and Gattaca upset.
Has to be careful there. Got a warning from the ref for throwing the ball away.
he didn't like the fact that he looked over to Coach Gino DeFlorio. Coach DeFlorio just kind of put his hands up and said, hey, that's kind of the way it is. Play on, you know. A shot, save by De Silva.
It's poor defending on Harrisburg. That was one pass that beat all three defenders, and they got a wide open shot. De Silva came up big again. He's made a lot of big saves in this first quarter.
There's Victor Rojas on the boot that time. De Silva denied him. Now again, it's in the Harrisburg zone. A shot! It's score, Ricardo Diegas.
Just a bad giveaway, and they capitalized.
Ricardo Diegas with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the opening frame makes it 2-0 Florida.
Nothing Hugo could do on that. That was top shelf.
The goal coming at 12:50 of the first quarter.
I think Harrisburg just needs to settle. Well, it looks like they're going to take a timeout. They need to settle down.
So they'll take a timeout. We'll keep it here with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Just to recap the scoring, Marco Rodriguez made it 1-0 at the 11:17 mark. And just now with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the opening frame, Ricardo Diegas made it 2-0. And Nick, as you're saying, it's not like Florida has so much better of the play, but like the point you were making on a few minutes ago, it just seems like they are burying their chances a little bit more when they get them here so far in this first quarter.
Well, the goals and the chances that Florida's creating are pretty much self-inflicted by Harrisburg. Either a bad giveaway or a poor execution on a restart, or just losing track of a man. It's not like Florida's breaking down and scoring spectacular goals. We're just kind of gift wrapping them for them. Aside from that, Hugo's come up with 4 or 5 big saves. It could easily be much more than it is. And on the same side, Harrisburg just hasn't finished their chances yet.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that in week 1 in Baltimore, especially in the first half when you were in there. It seemed to me like there could have been a lot more in the first quarter. You made some really brilliant saves in that first quarter.
Yeah, and going back to that game, we had a lot of chances as well, and that's kind of and same in Syracuse. We didn't finish our chances, and that comes back to kill you. You're only going to get a handful of great chances. You're going to get some good chances, but you got to finish those great chances, and we just haven't done that yet.
And even when things went bad in the second half, I really thought there was 4 or 5 shots there that you made brilliant saves on in that second half that were really brilliant chances for Baltimore that you kind of foiled there.
Well, that's kind of your job as a goalkeeper. Throw yourself in front of throw yourself in front of the ball. Hopefully it hits you somewhere. That's about all you can do in indoor. And then as well as being a part of the attack with the distribution.
So play resumes as the Heat trail 2-0 now after the Ricardo Diegas goal, and a shot on net by Burche is saved by Sliwa, and it's rolled out, and Sliwa rolls it to Burche, and Burche gives it to Carvalho, or Perez, excuse me. Perez to Teixeira, Teixeira back to Burche, Burche a shot too high, and Florida will start things the other way.
Burche will get his shots off. We just need to get in better positions for rebounds or deflections or screening the goalkeeper.
Sliwa throws it up, and Chantel heads it. And now it's over to Youssef Nasiri. Nasiri to Perez. Cuba Perez controls at midfield. Now back to Chantel. Chantel over to De Silva. De Silva back to Chantel. Kind of a dangerous pass there. And the Tropics are on the attack. Number 11, Ricardo Diegas, is looking for his second of the night. Now it's a ball dribbled as Gattaca tried to get it past the defender. Couldn't. It dribbles its way to Sliwa. Sliwa gets it to midfield and into the Harrisburg end. Harrisburg gets it out. Now it goes back in. And it's in front of the key now as Perez was attacking. And Florida now controls. Nascimento controls. Gets it over to Tello, and he is put up against the boards, and apparently possession arrow will stay in favor of Florida.
It's not a bad place to give a foul. It's a good chance to go in for a tackle and maybe turn him over in a bad spot. They just got unfortunate they called that one.
37 seconds to go. Opening frame, 2-0 in favor of the Tropics. Ball sent to the corner. Tropics control. Freddie Mugin Mujin working it out to Texera. Texera gets it back to Lucas Montelares. And driven down is Freddie Mujin by Chantel. No call, and Harrisburg tries to work it out of its own zone. Now a whistle comes. And that'll do it for the end of the opening quarter. Harrisburg leads 2-0, and we're going to keep it here. Nick, your thoughts on the first period of action?
It's kind of how I expected. I expected a little more opportunities up top for Harrisburg. Both teams created a fair amount of chances, just not enough execution, and then either poor defending or a lack of concentration on the defensive end cost them 2 goals.
Looking at things here, Tom Meller leads the team in scoring here to start the year. He's played in 3 games, has 2 goals, 3 assists. Lucio Gonzaga has 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. Miller has 5 points on the year, 2 goals, 3 assists. Ricardo Carvalho has 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. Val Texera has 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. And Cuba Perez, a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Fernando Gattaca, the player of the week 2 weeks ago, is 2 goals and 2 points. And then a goal and assist for one of the Heat captains, Stephen Basso. Of course, Val Texera, the other captain, and Carvalho, also a captain as well. And Dominic Francis has a goal, and Birche an assist, Chantel an assist, and Freitas an assist, all for 1 point on the year.
No, I think as you rattle off all those names, I think it shows that the roster for the Heat kind of is widespread, and you're going to get a lot of production from a lot of different players, as opposed to some teams who maybe have 1 or 2 players that are their goal getters or their point getters. I think Harrisburg has a wide range of talent, that can produce a lot of points.
And talking to Coach Cabral and owner and general manager Carl Delmont, as some of you may know, I do articles for the website and do different writing about the Harrisburg Heat, and that's kind of how the team was built. I think they wanted teams to fear the first line as much as they do the second and third, and so on.
Yeah, and it's tough. And when you bring so many new faces together and from different cultures and different systems that have people played, it's still a very new team. So both the team, the fans can't get discouraged by early results, just because it takes some time for chemistry to build, especially in this game where it's such a tempo and timing game. That takes some time.
Yeah, that's one of the things I want to talk to you as the broadcast kind of evolves here, and we'll get more into it at halftime. But yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of a melting pot in terms of personalities and different cultures on the team. I would think that makes it a little more difficult as you try to develop team chemistry in those things.
It makes it very difficult. We have a bunch of guys that speak different languages that even struggle to understand English. So when we're coaching, we kind of have to coach through everybody as individuals. It's obviously gotten a lot better than when we started, and that's going to continue to get better. I've been on many teams where, it takes months for that to come together. Teams like Baltimore and Syracuse and Chicago, they've been around for a while. Harrisburg, this is a very new Harrisburg Heat, so it's going to take some time for us as well.
Fantastic. We are in between periods here. It is 2-0 in favor of the Florida Tropics as the Harrisburg Heat try to tie this game here in the second quarter against the upstart Florida Tropics.
Harrisburg needs to be patient. Their chances are going to come. They just need to tighten up the defense and be a little better and more prone on executing on the restarts.
The Heat start with Perez, Gonzaga, Texera, Basso, and it looks like Birche will start things here in the second quarter. Birche gets it down into the Harrisburg attack end, and Teixeira takes it. He is tripped, and then Gonzaga picks it up, and he shoots and scores! 9 seconds in to the second frame. Lucio Gonzaga, a score, and Harrisburg trails 2-1.
Can't ask for something better than that. I know Coach Dennison kind of prided ourselves on scoring ugly goals this week, and that was our focus. Get in positions, put yourselves in good positions, kind of have an understanding where the ball's going to go, and then finish your chance.
Teixeira, this is kind of like one of the ironies of sports. Teixeira was kind of upset because he felt that the referees missed a call, but because they did, it enabled Gonzaga to come in and scoop up that rebound and put it in the net.
Oh, he was fouled. I think the ref gave it a second to see if the advantage would take place, and it did.
So you think the ref just kind of...
It would happen so quickly. He probably would have called it if Lucio didn't finish the chance, but it turned out to be a goal anyway.
Turned out Lucio Gonzaga made him beat his whistle, huh?
That's all needed Harrisburg did, right? Coming out of the whistle, get a goal off the restart. That turns the whole momentum.
Fantastic. So Birche to restart things here along the midfield sideboards. And Harrisburg controls in the attack end. Giving it to Teixeira down low. In the corner, Teixeira wheels it out for Perez. Perez, a shot, and it's put away by Sliwa, and Teixeira tripped almost in the exact same area again. And now the Heat are really going to be frustrated because Birche is going to be called for a trip near midfield.
From here, it looked like a foul. It looked like Val got fouled from behind. It probably should have been called. It's the second time they missed it.
So 14-18 to go. Heat trail 2-1, second period. From Friedland Mortgage Field at the Farm Show Large Arena. Number 23, Reyes, controls at midfield for the Tropics. Back to Luis Montelares. Sliwa looks to send it in the Harrisburg zone. He does. And Birche heads it. And look at the fight for possession there. The whistle blows. And the officials say Harrisburg will gain possession. Teixeira restarts it to Freitas. And Teixeira just sends it up into the Florida zone, and Meller is pursuing the ball. Controlling in his own zone, Reyes. Now to Sliwa. Now down the field to Chantel, who boots it back in. To Freitas. Thiago controls. Top of the key. Looking to create something here. Bounces it off a player off a shot. And Dieguez takes it the other way. And now Chantel controls. Back to De Silva. De Silva to Duarte. Duarte over to Chantel. And Chantel will give it to De Silva to set things up.
That's good composure for Harrisburg. They could have forced that with the pressure, but they took their time, made some passes, and got out of it.
Shot into the Harrisburg end, or the Tropics end, excuse me. Birche tries to control in the corner. He's fighting for possession with number 7, Pereira. Pereira ditches down. Duarte, a shot! Dribbles just behind Sliwa and harmlessly to the sideboards. Now Gonzaga controls in his own end. Boots it back to De Silva. De Silva has some players from Florida pursuing. Nice movement into the Tropics end as Meller controls in the corner. Meller, a shot off the board, ricochets over to Gattaca.
You can see what that early goal did for Harrisburg. They've really picked up the step. They're first to a lot of balls. The momentum and the energy has really shifted in Harrisburg's favor.
They are looking good right now, indeed. At midfield, Harrisburg controls. Booted into the corner. Gattaca looking to gain possession. He's fighting against Montelares. Now the Tropics controlling their own end. They're looking to get it out. Harrisburg is pressuring. Carvalho in there. Or excuse me, Perez. Now back in his own zone. Basso controls for Harrisburg. Thiago controlling for Harrisburg in the Tropics end. A shot! He scores! Thiago ties the game at 2 for the Harrisburg Heat.
Took his man on outside the box, beat him, finished it brilliantly in the corner. This kid, training with him the last few weeks, he's really picked up the game, and he's getting an understanding of the indoor. He comes from futsal, which is very different than this, but really figuring the game out.
And kind of an odd celebration there with his teammates as they're talking things over. Gets a high five from Gattaca as Thiago Freitas heads over to the Harrisburg bench. And you can kind of tell, I don't know if you noticed, Nick, but it seemed like Coach Cabral was kind of animated in that first time, in the first period intermission. They kind of got these guys going.
Lots of passion. You can tell. I never saw him play, Coach Dennison, but he coaches with a lot of passion. I'm sure he played with the same.
Yeah, he told me at the beginning of the season he prides himself on, letting players create, but also trying to have a system here as well.
Well, he's a goal scorer's mind, so he's not going to take anyone's freedom away.
So in the corner, Chantel battles in his own zone for it. The Heat now have, knocked off the ball by number 6, Blandon. Was Harrisburg. And now Harrisburg battling for it in the Tropics end. Has kicked it back into the Harrisburg end.
That'll be the top of the box.
Now it's going to be a restart at the top.
You put the goalie under pressure, you take away his options. He doesn't have much. He just hopes to clear it and have it land before that second yellow line, but sometimes it's tough to gauge.
So Gonzaga on the restart. And Basso kicks it back to Gonzaga. He scores! Lucio Gonzaga, his second of the period, second of the game. It's 3-2 Harrisburg.
You see how this game shifts so quickly. Harrisburg Heat after the first quarter, probably heads down. Fans were heads down. We're 4 minutes in, not even 4 minutes into the second quarter, and it's already 3-2. I think the keeper's going to want that one back. He got down quick. It looks like it just bobbled over his right hand.
You got to feel a little bit good for a guy like Lucio Gonzaga. He came here to Harrisburg last year, had kind of a rough year because there was a real lack of talent, and they only practiced 2 nights a week. It was a really tough situation. You could tell Lucio, who's a real pro of this indoor game, was kind of frustrated. It's good to see him get back and looking more like a Lucio Gonzaga.
Well, and he certainly puts a lot into it. He's very prideful about his game. He's always working hard after practice, practicing what he needs to work on. And I know they've put a lot of time and effort into working on restarts, and it's good to see one come off.
3-2 Harrisburg leads, 10:53 to go here in the second frame from the Friedmont Mortgage Field at the Pennsylvania Farm Show Large Arena. And remind me, I want to say something else about Lucio here as the broadcast continues. Ball bounced off of the sideboards there as Burche gets it to his teammate, Cuba. And now it's back into the Harrisburg zone to De Silva. De Silva looking to set things up. Pass to Cuba. And Gattaca controls now. Now Cuba controls as he gets toward the top of the key. Florida kicks it away. Nascimento there on the kick away. Now Florida controls in the Harrisburg zone.
You can see Harrisburg's really picked up their defensive pressure. They're putting a lot of pressure no matter where they are on the field. They're chasing it, putting Florida under the pressure.
And Gattaca doing some heavy forechecking in the offensive end now. And De Silva boots it out. Freitas kicks it past the Florida defender, and then he's now fouled, and he's laying in pain and writhing on the ground. We'll see if the referee decides to call anything here. Number 23, J.P. Reyes called, and while he's down, I'd like to say, not only, I noticed that earlier in the year after practice, Lucio would stay after practice, and then he'd lead a couple of the younger players, and they would stay and take extra shots on the keeper after practice, and then when that was finished, Lucio would do extra running, and then he would be doing calisthenics, like sit-ups and everything, and he was like literally like the last player off the field.
No, and a lot is meant to be said for that. It takes a lot of mental strength to really come back from how last year was, and prove to yourself that you can still do it, prove to your others that you can still do it. As a goalkeeper new to the league, he helped me out a lot. Even though he's not a goalkeeper, I was always asking him questions working through preseason, talking about certain situations, and he would gladly talk to anybody and everybody on the team.
So it's a good veteran guy in the room then.
Great guy to have. I mean, and that's why teams like the Heat need guys like that around, because it's a new team, it's a lot of new faces, and a lot of these guys have never even played the indoor game.
Of course, Lucio, a member of some championship squads in Baltimore, so he knows what it takes to be a champion. So, but yeah, he's a great guy off the field too. It's nice to just see him have some success here on the field this year. It's playing like the player we know he can be. 9 minutes, 49 seconds to go here. Second quarter, it is 3-2 in favor of Harrisburg. De Silva controls. Now to Gonzaga. Gonzaga looking to set things up here. Back to De Silva.
This is where Harrisburg's really settled down a bit. They're composed. They're making passes, giving Hugo options, and that's very important. Makes it a lot easier as a goalkeeper when your team moves a little bit to give you some options.
De Silva kicks it in. It's in the Tropics end of the corner. Bounces out to a Tropics player. It's Reyes. And now it's kicked back into the Harrisburg end where De Silva will set things up once again. Kicked off the boards and just over the head of Messias. And now the Heat are looking to...
You can see Florida, they're putting Florida under a lot of pressure. They're just looking to dump it, maybe get a counterattack. They haven't had any quality chances this second quarter.
You can almost tell that Florida kind of feels the pressure just by the way they're playing a little bit. Ball in the corner, Teixeira battling for it. And it's kicked out. Now Reyes controls for Florida.
That's great work back by Don Francis, getting behind the ball, making Florida work backwards.
And now he's looking at the referee wondering why he didn't get a call as he felt he was elbowed. In the Harrisburg end, shot and a score!
Now, just as I said, they didn't have quality chances. That's their first one of the half. Just beat Hugo near post. Probably wants that one back as a goalkeeper.
Number 18, Victor Rojas, ties it at 3. At the 8:27 mark here in the second quarter. And that goal coming at the 7:33 mark of the second period. So we're brand new match here with 8:27 to go in the second quarter. As the Heat will restart things midway through the second. Perez controls on the side. Perez, the shot goes over, or excuse me, not a shot, but the kick goes over the glass, and now the Florida Tropics will be restarting things in their end. Montelares gets it over to Sliwa. Sliwa looking to set things up. Kicks it into the corner. Controlling there is Freddie Mugin. Mugin works it out to his teammate at midfield. Now back to Montelares at center field.
You can kind of see how the indoor game works. Florida was kind of panicking for the start of the second quarter after Harrisburg got their 2 goals, and immediately they score a goal and they look a lot more composed and relaxed on the ball.
Ball goes out of bounds off of Florida. Harrisburg will restart things in their own end. 7 minute 48 seconds to go. A timeout has been called. We'll take a timeout as well. 3-3, the Tropics tied with Harrisburg here. The Heat are tied with the Florida Tropics 3-3, 7-4.
Check out the Harrisburg Heat merchandise
on the Heat Soccer Network.
They stand at all Harrisburg Heat home games with new replica jerseys, both the home and the away, quarter zips, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, and so much more. It's the Harrisburg Heat merchandise, all the stuff you need to be a Harrisburg Heat fan.
Stay in touch with your Harrisburg Heat with HarrisburgHeat.com, the Heat's Facebook page, and with Twitter. You'll be kept up to date on all the scores, statistics, and happenings of the Harrisburg Heat. Read about your favorite player, find out what happened on the road game, and enjoy the company of other Harrisburg Heat fans.
Welcome back to the Fremont Mortgage Field at the Farm Show Arena. Max Stevens along with Heat keeper Nick Noble. Heat and the Tropics tied at 3 here at home for the Harrisburg Heat. Only one other game tonight in MASL action. It is Ontario versus Turlock. It's a West Coast game, so that game not getting underway until about 10 o'clock or so tonight. Harrisburg Heat controlling their own end as we restart things. De Silva battling against a Tropics player in his crease area, and the ball is sent out of bounds, and Gonzaga is looking for a call from the referees, will not get it. Arico restarts things. Now the Tropics have Blandon pushing things forward. Blandon controls, gives over to Diegues. Diegues loses it, and it's out back into the Tropics end. Now Diegues, a shot, saved by De Silva. De Silva had himself in a nice position there.
Yep, in a good position. Chantel kind of took the wrong angle to the ball. You got to keep yourself in between you and the goal. Kind of got turned there a bit.
So Cuba controls in the Florida end, and Florida now bringing it out of their own end into the Harrisburg end. Diegas, a shot and a save by De Silva. Harrisburg looking to restart things the other way. Burche has some open space. Burche working into the Tropics end. He's got it to Chiego. Chiego loses it. And the Florida Tropics kick it out of bounds, and you can see the frustration all over the face of Nascimento as he boots it out of bounds, because that's going to be the Heat start things out at the top of the key.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult. Our arena is, has shorter glass than on the sides than some arenas, so it takes some getting used to if you're not used to it.
He certainly letting his frustration show freely. Will Burche or Gonzaga take it here? They are both lining up. We'll see what happens. Burche, a shot. It was a bullet, but it was stopped by the wall of defense of the Tropics in front of the first line there of the key, and now play stopped and a penalty.
Caught his hand, unfortunately, off the boards. Gives a restart to Harrisburg in a good spot.
So it's a restart for the Heat as things are tied 3-3 with 6:33 to go here in period number 2. Gonzaga will restart things just to the left of center of the key.
Looks like Tommy Miller could get a shot here.
Here's Gonzaga, kicks it down, and it is shot out again, and Nascimento not afraid to show his frustration. I mean, like the veins are literally popping out of his neck as he shows his frustration. And the Harrisburg Heat want to take a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. It's 3-3 Florida and Harrisburg from Fremont Mortgage Field at the Farm Show Large Arena on the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network.
Fans, be a true Harrisburg Heat fan by joining the Harrisburg Heat Fan Club. You'll enjoy all the latest news, meetings, gatherings, and postseason parties. The Harrisburg Heat Fan Club is an essential supporter of this team and its players. Stop by the fan club table at any home game or email Jerry Holtry at harrisburgheatfanclub@comcast.net. The Harrisburg Heat Fan Club, the best Heat fans around.
Welcome back to the Fremont Mortgage Field at the Farm Show Large Arena. Max Stevens along with Heat keeper Nick Noble. The Heat and the Florida Tropics tied at 3. And Nick, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast tonight. We really appreciate your help.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for this restart. Coming off a timeout, you really want to execute. It all comes down to timing. Everyone should be on the same page. This is where all the extra time at practice, hopefully comes out on the field.
So Cuba and Gonzaga lined up to possibly take the restart. Gonzaga leaves it for Cuba. Cuba, a shot, and it is blocked by the wall of defense of Florida, and it's kicked back into the Harrisburg end, and Harrisburg will restart things from there.
It's a good idea. It was just a half a second, maybe a millisecond off, and that's all it takes for that shot to get blocked. It all comes down to timing.
Lucio goes off for a blow, and Marco Chantel replaces him. Basso now controls. And Harrisburg, Val, a header in the slot, save by Sliwa. And the ball goes out of bounds, and they say it goes off of Harrisburg, and so Florida will continue on the attack in the Harrisburg end. 6:03 to go here in the first half. It's 3-3. Tie score between Harrisburg and Florida. Kicked back to Sliwa as Florida looks to set things up in the Harrisburg end. Kicked off the glass and out to the top of the key. Tullo controls there, and a save made by De Silva. Controlled in midfield. Lucio Gonzaga back on now for Harrisburg. Gonzaga in the slot, tries a header, no! Nice save by Sliwa as it took a couple of pinball bounces in the slot before it came out to Arico, who travels down to the Harrisburg end. Arico dribbles in the Harrisburg end, looking for someone to play it to. Now it's out to Montelaris at midfield. Kicked into the slot area. And a shot, and it's fanned on by Mujin. And now Tom Meller controls. Now Montelares keeps it in as Basso controls in Harrisburg's own corner. And now De Silva gets it over to Lucio Gonzaga. Gonzaga over to Burche. Burche back to De Silva. De Silva over to Burche. Burche back to De Silva in their own end, looking to get things set up offensively for the Heat. Battling and thrown down by number 16 Tello is number 41 Jade Messias, and Tello didn't like the call. Chago to restart things for the Heat. He's got Miller at the far end, Burche to his right, and he's got Leandro Duarte down low. Burche, a shot! A rocket, and he scores to give the Heat a 4-3 lead!
There's nothing stopping that one. That couldn't have been any better.
So Burche gives his team a lead at the 4:38 mark of the second quarter.
Not sure if his eyes were open or closed, but that was a perfect finish.
He'd been shooting that shot over the goal post all night, and that one was beautifully laid in a spot just out of the reach of Sliwa, yet into the corner of the goal net. A very pretty goal scored by Burche.
That's 2 goals on restarts for Harrisburg. It shows you how important they are. It shows you why teams put so much time and effort into perfecting them.
And you can almost see after each goal how the jump comes back into the Harrisburg Heat step.
It's immediate. I mean, it's indoor. The game doesn't stop. You can score 3 goals in a minute.
So De Silva controls in his own zone. Leaves it for Gonzaga. Gonzaga is playing a lot of minutes in this first half. But as you and I talked about, Nick, he keeps himself in tremendous shape.
You have to be fit and you have to be smart. You can't just you're not going to run around for 30 minutes out there straight. You get off short shifts, and it's a good chance.
Yeah, it was a Messias in front there was dangerous. Had a shot to put, but he couldn't get a foot on it. 3 minutes 40 seconds to go. Harrisburg leading by 1 on the Burche goal. Meller has a chance in front. A shot. He just couldn't get a shot. There wasn't much space there. As he gets another shot, and it's another save by Sliwa.
Goalkeeper did well. Tommy was trying to be as patient as he could and try to slot it through his legs, it looked like. Goalkeeper did well to stand it up.
And Sliwa did a nice job of making his space to shoot pretty small.
That's what you got to do. You got to close down the angle and close down the 5-hole, and that's what he did.
So along the corner there, Florida controls. And they control in their own zone as they look to set things up here and get things in the offensive zone. Chiago Freitas steals it away, and then he is drawn down by number 15, Kevin Rockwell. And Teixeira
looks like Birche is going to get a yellow card for dissent.
Complaining to the referee now. Birche is upset about something, and the referee holding a yellow card. And apparently the Tropics will go on the power play here.
I think Harrisburg is upset because it was a clear opportunity at goal that they held back. Maybe asking for a penalty shot. But they will be a power play for 2 minutes. It looks like Birche is going to go into the box as well.
Oh, Birche and Rockwell. Okay, gotcha. So that'll even things off now.
Well, Birche, if you get a yellow card, you can keep 5 men on the field. It's just he'll stay in the box for 5 minutes.
I see. Thank you for clarifying that.
Oh, it looks like they will get a penalty shot here.
So the Heat will get a penalty shot?
A penalty shot and the 2 minutes. So there was a clear chance at goal that they held back. So unfortunately, Birche was complaining for a foul that they had gotten.
Now Gonzaga's going to take it. It looked like Thiago was the one that was fouled in the scoring chance, but they're going to let Gonzaga take the penalty shot here.
Now this is where you kind of rely on experience. Been in these situations before.
So they look to get things.
This is a big opportunity. Chance to go up 2 goals before half. We'd like to execute this.
Here we go. Gonzaga moves it up. He scores! Lucio Gonzaga with 2:48 to go in the first half. Makes it 5-3 Harrisburg.
That's where you want the experience. He was patient. Let the goalie make his decision and then just slid it to the opposite side.
Lucio with the hat trick here in the second quarter. He's got 3 goals. He scored to make it 2-1, 3-2, and then he scores here to make it 5-3 Harrisburg.
It's been an excellent quarter for Harrisburg. Hopefully they can get to half at this scoreline or even add a goal or 2. Florida's really only had 1 clear opportunity, which they executed on, but you'll give that up in a quarter.
2 minutes, 35 seconds to go, and Lucio Gonzaga is lifting this team up on his back in terms of goal scoring here. 5-3, the Harrisburg Heat now lead after trailing 2-0 in the first quarter. They trailed 2-0, then got a 3-2 lead. Then the Tropics tied it at 3, and then Harrisburg has scored 2 straight goals to make it 5-3. As we approach the 2-minute mark of the first half, 2:04 as it's kicked out of bounds by the Tropics. Number 23, J.P. Reyes.
Time of the game that Harrisburg can't take their foot off the pedal. You score these goals and you go up 2. A lot of teams take their foot off the pedal, but you got to put the pedal down and go for more.
Absolutely. Armando Tello in his own zone. To Sliwa, back to Tello. Meller checking in the Florida zone. Possession arrow goes to Harrisburg. Basso gets things started here for the Heat. Basso kicking it back to Perez. Or excuse me, to Silva. De Silva kicks things up. Jade Messias looking for the ball, but it was intercepted by Florida. Now Messias battling for possession. Tello gets it to midfield to his teammate. Nascimento controls now in the offensive zone for Florida. Thiago Freitas pushed over on the boards, and a save after a shot by Joe-Wayne Laidley. And now it's thrown out, and Messias looking for it, but he is grabbing his side and wincing in pain as the ball goes back into the Harrisburg end. And now Harrisburg bringing it back forward again. Thiago has it on the left wing. Thiago to center, to Basso, he scores!
That's an incredible.
Steven Basso! 6-3 Harrisburg!
That's an incredible goal.
40 seconds to go in the first half, and you talked about not letting the foot off the gas, Nick. They certainly have not.
You can't. This game kind of snowballs, and you can see Florida a bit panicking this second quarter. Things just always seem to go against you. And that's just by Thiago, just incredible vision. Probably didn't even see it, just felt the overlap run coming and just played it with perfect weight.
Yeah, Thiago, I mean, Basso is going to get credit for that goal, but Thiago, what he did to set that up, the assist almost doesn't give him justice on that in the scorebook.
No, it's beautiful. It shows you the talent he has and the vision he has.
Now Florida controls off the restart, or off the kickoff. Sent down into the Harrisburg end. Controlled by Mujin.
If you're Harrisburg, you don't want to concede a goal here. Last 30 seconds, you want to hold on to all the momentum that you've created.
19 seconds left in the first half. Ball headed to midfield. Cuba controls it there. 9 seconds to go. Harrisburg leading 6-3. Kicks it over to Chantel. 2 seconds. 1. That'll do it for the first half. Harrisburg, in a very spirited first half, scores 6 goals and leads 6-3 here at the half. Max Stevens along with Nick Noble will be back here at the Fremont Mortgage Field at Farm Show Large Arena to recap the first half and give you Nick's impressions of the first half. That and much, much more when the halftime show rolls on next here on WMSS.com and the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network.
Check out the Harrisburg Heat merchandise stand at all Harrisburg Heat home games with new replica jerseys, both the home and the away, quarter zips, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, and so much more. It's the Harrisburg Heat merchandise, all the stuff you need to be a Harrisburg Heat fan.
Stay in touch with your Harrisburg Heat with HarrisburgHeat.com, the Heat's Facebook page, and with Twitter. You'll be kept up to date on all the scores, statistics, and happenings of the Harrisburg Heat. Read about your favorite player, find out what happened on the road game, and enjoy the company of other Harrisburg Heat fans.
Fans, be a true Harrisburg Heat fan by joining the Harrisburg Heat Fan Club. You'll enjoy all the latest news, meetings, gatherings, and postseason parties. The Harrisburg Heat Fan Club is an essential supporter of this team and its players. Stop by the fan club table at any home game or email Jerry Holtree at harrisburgheatfanclub@comcast.net. The Harrisburg Heat Fan Club, the best Heat fans around. Fans, you can listen to the Harrisburg Heat anywhere with the TuneIn app. Get it on your smartphone, the TuneIn app, and tune it to WMSS and listen to the Harrisburg Heat home and away. If you want to watch the games, you can go to GoLiveSportscast.com and check out the video feed as well. It's the Harrisburg Heat online at the TuneIn app, WMSSFM.com, and GoLiveSportscast.com.
What you are about to hear are all true statements of a man that has smoked for over half a century and chewed tobacco for over a decade. Did you ever smoke?
Yes, I smoked a good bit.
When did you start smoking?
About 15, imagine.
80% of smokers start before the age of 18. 430,000 of those people die each year from tobacco, only wishing they could have stopped.
I still would like to have one smoke right now. That never leaves you. I mean, that never leaves you.
This man has spent approximately $72,800 on cigarettes total, averaging a pack a day. Additional health problems from his addiction have greatly affected his life. In medical expenses alone, he has paid $750,000 for an addiction he wishes he never started. If he could say one thing to all of you listening, this is what he would say.
There's a habit you just can't quit. It's a damn bad habit.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Klimchak.
We'll take 2 peanut brittles. Raising money for school?
No, picking on your kid at school.
What? Our Henry?
I'm the class bully.
Well, forget the peanut brittle.
Look, I'm not gonna pull any punches. Get it? But every day, I start fights with your kid on the playground.
But you...
I take his lunch money.
Honey, what do we do?
What do we do?
Hey, I've got some answers.
It's McGruff, the crime dog.
Bullies don't just walk up and introduce themselves. When kids worry about bullying, you have to read the clues. They may not want to go to school. Their grades may drop.
Our Henry hasn't mentioned a bully.
That's another thing. Kids don't want to talk about it.
I don't mean to twist your arm. Sorry. But you might want to get involved.
Well...
Oops, late for lunch. Gotta trip a kid with his tray.
How do you stop bullies? Well, with words to your kids, school administrators, other concerned parents, and by going to McGruff.org.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network. Max Stevens along with Heat keeper Nick Noble as we are sitting here at halftime with the Harrisburg Heat having a lead of 6-3. First of all, let's recap the first half scoring. Marco Rodriguez and Ricardo Diegues scored the first 2 goals of the game for Florida, and that's how the first period ended 2-0 in favor of Florida. Lucio Gonzaga, his first of the game, came 9 seconds into the second frame. That made it 2-1 Florida. Thiago Freitas tied it at 2, and then Lucio Gonzaga, his second goal of the quarter and the game, made it 3-2 Harrisburg. Victor Rojas tied it at 3 for Florida at the 8:27 mark. Jose Burche, a beautiful, beautiful goal. A toe ball into the corner of the net, made it 4-3 Harrisburg. Then Lucio Gonzaga, his third of the quarter, third of the game, made it 5-3 Harrisburg. And then Steven Basso on a shot that was set up beautifully by Thiago Freitas, made it 6-3 Harrisburg. That's where we stand at the half. And Nick, what are your overall impressions of this first half for this Heat club and this Tropics club?
Well, it was a slow start for Harrisburg. It could have been a few more goals in that first quarter. Hugo came up with a bunch of big saves, and I think that really motivated the guys. They responded extremely well in the second quarter, scoring goals immediately, and it really, you could see the momentum just shift immediately. Kind of executed and finished all their good quality chances. Scoring 6 goals in a quarter is quite impressive.
Absolutely, and on the defensive end for Harrisburg in this first half, there were some lapses that allowed those 2 goals to start. Then they got tougher in the second, but overall, I'd probably give them a pretty good grade so far here in this first half in terms defensively.
You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have lapses of concentration. You're going to let guys get behind you. That's the nature of the game. It's who can do that the least amount of times and who can capitalize on those mistakes. But you respond, you fix changes. Sometimes it's okay to make mistakes early in games, even if you concede goals, because there's always time in indoor to get goals back, and they responded terrifically.
Absolutely. What are your? We talked a little bit about it during the course of the first half. Your impressions of Lucio Gonzaga's play here, especially in that second quarter.
You just see how much composure he has on the ball. He's not, even when he's under pressure, even if he's getting double teamed, he has so much composure. Has just a feel what's going to happen and where guys are going to be, and does a lot of creating. Very good on restarts, kind of our quarterback on restarts. Kind of runs everything, calls the plays, and we capitalized and we scored 2 on restarts that second quarter.
And for those of you who may be tuning in late, Nick talked midway through that second quarter about just the professional that Lucio has been so far this year, helping the younger players, and even though he's not a goalkeeper, helping Nick at times here in the preseason and throughout the early on this season.
Well, we have 3 goalkeepers on the team that none of us have indoor experience, at least indoor as we're watching now with the walls and whatnot. He's helped us all out. He doesn't matter what you are, as where you come from or what language you speak, he's going to help you out.
Absolutely, and that Basso goal, as we talked about toward the end of the first half, Thiago Freitas doing just a tremendous job setting that up. Is that the kind of goal that was almost built in the preseason when you guys started working and started working early and put a lot of hard work into the preseason?
At the beginning of preseason, not at all. That shows you how far this team's come. That takes chemistry. He didn't even see where he was passing. He didn't even know Basso was going to be in that spot. He was just expecting him to be in that spot, and that's what you got to do. You got to put the ball in positions where you expect your teammates to be. So that takes a lot of chemistry and a lot of trust, and that takes time. That quarter kind of showed you how this team, is responding to adversity. Giving up 2 goals in the first quarter, everyone could have put their heads down and been, here we go again. But they responded well, and you can kind of see the team making a turn for the better.
In other words, if the preseason weren't as long as it was, and they didn't have as much chance to work on those kinds of plays, maybe that play doesn't happen tonight.
Exactly. We were one of the first teams to get started in indoor preseason, and a lot of credit goes to the owners for getting us together. A lot of teams are just now kind of getting into the swing of things, but we needed that extra month to get to know each other and try to figure out the game as a team, and it's showing right now. What's
it been like? A lot has been made in the off season, Nick, of the of the living quarters and having a place for the guys to live. I don't know if you have a place here, if you were here locally or not. I think you were with the City Islanders a little bit before, so maybe you already have a place locally. But is it nice for the guys to have that?
It's a game changer. It's a game changer when you can bring guys from Brazil or out of country or even out of town and keep them here. And just living with guys. These are our brothers. We're going to spend every day, hours upon hours, blood, sweat, and tears with each other. So it helps to get that chemistry off the field as well. I think it goes a long way into what the ownership is, how much resources they're putting into it.
It was really cool. I don't know if you caught the post yesterday on social media, but obviously yesterday Thanksgiving across the nation, a lot of people celebrating, eating a lot of turkey. Val Texera posted a really cool post of Thanksgiving from some of the new Heat quarters there. It looked like the guys were having fun, enjoying some fellowship there over some turkey.
Well, a lot of as we trained yesterday, so a bunch of guys didn't get to go home. We have a bunch of guys from Brazil, so they honestly don't know what we're celebrating. But it's important that they're around people that love them, and that goes a long way. And that's the beauty of playing a team sport. You always have people around you. You always have someone to talk to when you miss home. This is your new home, and when we train every day and you have places to stay and you're always with the people that you're playing with, it goes a long way to produce a good product on the field as well.
Nick, I've been meaning to talk to you about this for some articles that I'm working on for HarrisburgHeat.com. So I'll talk to you now while I have you on the halftime show. How is the keeper situation working itself out? I think we all expected a healthily competitive situation heading into the season, given the talent level of both of the keepers on this Heat club. How's that been working out so far?
You want this? This is professional sports. You want this at every position. You want a healthy competition at every sport. Hugo and I are great friends. We work with each other. We want to make each other better. We want to push each other. But I'm with him on the field, and he would be with me on the field. Goalkeepers is a lonely position at times, so you have to be, close to one another and help each other out. And that's what we're trying to figure this out together. But again, my job's to push him, and his job's to push me. That doesn't mean we're not great friends off the field, because we are, and that goes a long way.
How competitive are things when, like, during inter-squad scrimmages where you're at one end, he's at the other? How does that make for good competitiveness in practice?
It wouldn't matter if I'm playing solitaire, dominoes, or tic-tac-toe. I don't want to lose, and he's the same way. And I think that's what you want. You don't want people that accept losing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. But I've played team sports for 25 years now, so it's all I know, honestly. And we go out there, try to compete. I try to make as many saves as I can. Days I lose, it pisses me off. I go home and think about it. But that's the nature of playing a team sport.
With Jeffrey in the mix, what's his role been like? Jeffrey Estep is the third keeper. When I talked to Dennison, he didn't mention whether Jeffrey was going to have a chance to play in the matches or not. He pretty much said it was between you and Hugo. What's Jeffrey's role been like? Talk about that.
Well, Jeff's one of the few guys that's kind of been around, so he knows the game. He's been around the Heat since they've been back, and that helps us out a lot. He's always helping us talk through situations. It takes a lot. There's a lot of rules in indoor that are different than obviously outdoor or other various games. So just having someone talk to you in your ear helps you out.
Is it when you don't play in the game? Is it tougher to stay sharp mentally?
Yeah. But my job is to be ready when my name's called upon. That's part of it. I mean, goalkeeping is at any level is like that. There's only one goalkeeper that plays games. Obviously, I want game experience, and I think my time will come, but that's not in my control. All I can control is how I train and go out and try to produce and impress the coaches and wait for my number.
I've always been fascinated by that, by whether it's hockey or soccer or whatever the sport. Goaltender, I imagine, takes a tremendous amount of mental toughness and confidence. Along that line, when you aren't playing, I've always been fascinated by how goaltenders stay sharp when they're not. Is that hard to stay sharp, or is there a trick to it? Or?
It's very difficult, and you're right. It's a very mental sport. I don't know any goalkeepers that don't have struggles with confidence at times. I would love to meet that goalkeeper that is always 100% confident, because I don't think it exists. But how you deal with that, and that comes with time and experience, and I've been fortunate to play professional soccer for 11 years now, so obviously I've had plenty of ups and downs, and even in the course of a year or even a week you will have ups and downs. So you just try to level it out, be as consistent as possible, and try to focus on what you can control. Going out every day, working on getting better, and just know that that's all you can do. Things might go your way, they might not go your way, but you got to focus on the things you can control.
Sure. One of the reasons I was asking this is I'm a huge Detroit Red Wings fan, and this year, coming into the year, everybody was expecting that Jimmy Howard, who was a longtime starter there, was going to be the backup, and a Czechoslovakian goalie who'd been there younger, but now he was starting to come into his own and play well, and when Jimmy Howard got his first start of the year in New York, it was amazing. He put on an amazing performance at Madison Square Garden. And one of the reporters asked him, what the key to that performance was, and he said he learned in the offseason how to prepare himself and stay sharp for when he wasn't playing. And now Jimmy Howard is almost getting as many starts as his counterpart.
It's professional sports. You see it at every sport. You see it at every level. You're not entitled to anything. You have to go out and earn it. Every person on the roster carries the same amount of weight. Coaches aren't going to look at anyone with a favoritism. You just got to earn your time and try to make the most of it.
Fantastic. As we get things started here in the second half, thanks for your thoughts on the first half, Nick, and we get set for the second half here as the Florida Tropics will be going from right to left, and Harrisburg Heat will be going from left to right to score on the Florida goal here in this second half to start things off. And the Tropics control in their own zone and looking to get things set up offensively. Kick past Lucio Gonzaga near the midfield marker, and foul as Arico hit a Harrisburg player, and that player is down in the corner.
He might have caught his head on the boards. Hopefully he's all right.
We will, I think, take a timeout here with 14 minutes and 38 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Heat leads 6-3 on the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network.
Check out the Harrisburg Heat merchandise stand at all Harrisburg Heat home games with new replica jerseys, both the home and the away, quarter zips, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, and so much more. It's the Harrisburg Heat merchandise, all the stuff you need to be a Harrisburg Heat fan.
Stay in touch with your Harrisburg Heat with HarrisburgHeat.com, the Heat's Facebook page, and with Twitter. You'll be kept up to date on all the scores, statistics, and happenings of the Harrisburg Heat. Read about your favorite player, find out what happened on the road game, and enjoy the company of other Harrisburg Heat fans.
Scary moment here at Fremont Mortgage Field at the Farm Show Large Arena. As soon as Marco Chantel went into the boards, the number 10, Freddie Mugin, was immediately motioning for the Heat medical staff, and you never want to see a moment like that. As Basso gets things started here for the Heat. Shot on net, save to Silva, another save to Silva, and Harrisburg now controls, getting it into the midfield. And Harrisburg will look to set things up.
You can see Syracuse is coming out. I guarantee their coach was all over him at halftime. They're coming out with a new rejuvenated pressure. They're trying to step on everything, trying to get a goal here in the first few minutes, I bet.
Brad Kerstetter getting some of his first action of the night. Tom Miller also out there for the Heat. Cuba Perez, Steven Basso, and Gonzaga all out there right now. Gonzaga kicked things up along the sideboards, and then Perez kicked it out of bounds. 13:48 to go here in the third quarter. Heat leads 6-3.
Yeah, Harrisburg just kind of needs to weather the storm here. Kind of just be patient, wait for your moments, expect kind of weather the storm here, and then kind of capitalize on counterattack maybe.
So in the corner, number 11, Ricardo Dieguez turns it over as the referees call a foul, and Basso will start things the other way for Harrisburg. Over to De Silva on the right side. De Silva works it down to Texera. Texera holds it on the right side, leaving for Messias, and Florida gains possession. Diegues controls. Diegues down to Nascimento in the corner. Nascimento pass too wide for number 18, Victor Rojas. And Kerstetter kicks it out of the corner. Now controlled still by Florida. And Thiago, it goes out of bounds off Thiago as he tried to take it the other way. He could not. Goes out of bounds. And Florida will restart things. Marco Rodriguez. Look at a restart. He's got Armando Tello up top. That's where he shifts it first. Now back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez dribbling. Inside to the top of the key to Diegues. And Thiago, ball squirts out to Thiago. And he dribbles down the right side and tries to dribble his way through some defenders. Cannot do it. Rodriguez taking it the other way now for Florida.
Looks like he held on to the ball just a step too long.
As the Harrisburg home crowd is serenaded by Vanilla Ice with Ice Ice Baby. Thiago into the Florida zone. A shot! It dribbled past the keeper, but Sliwa is down holding his face.
Not sure they're going to allow. It looked like there was a bit of a hit on the goalkeeper. Still haven't seen a decision.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll allow it either. We'll see.
Oh, looks like they're going to allow it. The goalkeeper is not happy.
Wow.
We'll have to check the replay.
Yeah, Sliwa basically yelling at the official. And they're wanting an explanation.
Looks like this is it here. Looks like Perez ran into the goalkeeper.
Perez.
Purely accidental.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're not going to allow the goal. Well, I'm still not sure, actually.
We'll wait for the official word.
No yellow card.
A yellow card.
Must be a goal.
Armando Tello is really not happy about this.
From our angle, I would say they have every right to be upset. It looked like a foul on Cuba, as we call him, Perez, as you hear.
Thiago Freitas on the goal with 12:26 remaining in the period. It's 7-3 Harrisburg.
In hockey, I think that would be a penalty for interference. I don't think they call that in indoor soccer, though.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it could have been interference, that's for sure. Chantel controls in his own zone, heads it to De Silva. De Silva down the field to Cuba. And now intercepted by Florida. Shot as a trip by Cuba. A shot by Orico, excuse me. And he gets tripped, and so he'll restart it behind the yellow line. Over to Mujin.
Yeah, the next 5 minutes are very important for the Heat.
I agree. Number 6, Blandon dishing it off to number 22, Orico. And now looking for a goal is Meller, but Sliwa stopping it. Ball kicked down to the corner. Chantel controls. Chantel out to Gonzaga. Gonzaga trying to kick it away, could not. Was blocked by a Florida player.
Like Florida got away with a handball, but they're going to get whistled for the foul there.
And so Florida gets whistled for the foul, and starting things off will be Gonzaga. De Silva kicks it to midfield. Orico complaining, thought he got elbowed by Messias. He's grasping his nose to see if there's any fluid coming out there. No leakage, apparently. And Orico will restart things. Orico into the Harrisburg end. Kicked away by Birche. And Leandro Duarte kicks it out. And now into the corner, Messias kicks it, and it's taken by the keeper, Sliwa, and he rolls it out to Arico. Arico dribbles at the center point, then out to midfield to Reyes. Now over to Texera, the Lucas variety. And now blocked as they try to kick it in, but Freitas, and that was dangerous, and now booted it back to Sliwa, and he'll restart the offense for Florida. Rolled into the Heat zone. Apparently going to get to call on Leandro Alves Duarte on the trip for Harrisburg. And apparently he tripped Ricardo Diegues. And now Pereiras will restart things for the Tropics. Pereiras directing traffic for the restart here. 10:33 to go. Harrisburg leading by 4. Kicks it out to his teammate on the right side. Shot! Wide by Lucas Texera. 10:29 to go now. Harrisburg in the lead by 4. So Harrisburg and it looks like Florida's remaining competitive, but Harrisburg is up to the task.
Well, aside from that first quarter, you expect Florida to come out, high pressure and with their legs, but it's a long way to travel. It's a lot on your body. You kind of wear teams down, and that's what Harrisburg seems to be doing.
Harrisburg controls things in the midfield. Here's Birche. Birche down to Cuba. In the slot, miss by Francis. And Florida now controls the other way. 10:03 to go. In the third quarter, Harrisburg leading by 4. Controlled by Pereira. Kicked away by Harrisburg. Now over to Montelares. Back to Nascimento. Nascimento passed his teammate into the corner. Birche trying to dig it out of there. And battling, and possession arrow favors Florida. And Diegues wanted something more called against Birche. Not going to get it. 9:41 to go.
Giving up a bunch of restarts here. You got to stay tight, but you got to not foul in dangerous spots.
Kicked out to center point. Shot way too high for the net. And with 9:39, Harrisburg leading by 4, 7-3. They will start possession into the Tropics end. Don't forget, if you're tuning in hoping to hear Middletown football, you can switch to the other stream on our website at WMSS.com. Teixeira, a shot. Nice save, Sliwa. Sliwa gets it out to his teammate, Mujin. Mujin back to Sliwa in his box area. And now Arico controls in his own zone.
I'm really excited to see how the Heat defend. They get 5 guys behind the ball. That's kind of been an issue in the first few weeks, but everyone's working back. If there's a turnover, a shot, or a counterattack, everyone seems to get behind the ball.
Reyes in the offensive end. Mujin trying to control it off of the corner. The corner bounce, and he's not able to do so. De Silva kicks it into the Florida end. Arico back there with it. Gets it to Sliwa. Back to Arico. Now Sliwa controls. Over to Reyes. Back to Sliwa. 8:30 to go. Third quarter, Harrisburg in the lead by 4. 18, Rojas controls. Rojas, a shot. Nice save. Basso blocked it. Now Beller controls midfield, dribbling into the Florida end, lost his dribble, just got a little bit too wide for him, and Reyes takes it back for Florida. Over to Rodriguez, and they kick it out. Ball squirts out to midfield, back into the Florida end. Reyes controlling. Reyes up to Blandon. Now to Diegues. Diegues out to center. To Montelares. To Reyes. To Blandon. Into the corner. And now a whistle as the ball goes out of play. So 7:31 to go. And when we come back, Florida will have possession. Here on the Heat Soccer Network, Harrisburg Heat lead by 4.
Fans, be a true Harrisburg Heat fan by joining the Harrisburg Heat Fan Club. You'll enjoy all the latest news, meetings, gatherings, and postseason parties. The Harrisburg Heat Fan Club is an essential supporter of this team and its players. Stop by the fan club table at any home game or email Jerry Holtree at harrisburgheatfanclub@comcast.net. The Harrisburg Heat Fan Club, the best Heat fans around. Fans, you can listen to the Harrisburg Heat anywhere with the TuneIn app. Get it on your smartphone, the TuneIn app, and tune it to WMSS and listen to the Harrisburg Heat home and away. If you want to watch the games, you can go to GoLiveSportscast.com and check out the video feed as well. It's the Harrisburg Heat online at the TuneIn app, WMSSFM.com, and GoLiveSportscast.com.
Welcome back, 7:31 to go, third quarter, Harrisburg Heat by 4. Max Stevens along with Heat keeper Nick Noble, who's kind enough to join us tonight. And it looks like it's going to be Pereira on the restart for Florida. These restarts are huge.
Yeah, they've given up a fair amount in the second half so far, so got to keep the clean sheet so far.
We'll see what Pereira does. He kicks to a teammate. It's Mujin. Mujin, a shot, save. Another shot by number 18, Rojas, is too high, and it was 7:26 to go in the third. Heat leading by 4. They take possession of the soccer ball.
Hugo did well there, made himself big. There was really no chance of that ball going in except on a rebound.
7:26 to go. De Silva starts things for the Heat to Gonzaga, into Teixeira in the Tropics zone. Gonzaga, nice keeping it in. And Teixeira, a shot off of Reyes and goes out of bounds, so the Heat should retain possession. Teixeira saying he wants the kick here in the corner.
It's going to be a corner kick. That was great movement off the ball for Harrisburg. Just got a bit unlucky with the deflection, but that was a good opportunity.
Lucio gives it to Birche. Birche trying to tee up a shot that he scored on earlier, but this one too high. 7 minutes, 12 seconds to go here in this third quarter. The ball kids getting into play here. Here's Sliwa. To center, headed by Thiago. Now Gattaca controls. Gattaca, or no, it's, excuse me, it's Cuba controlling there. Now to midfield by De Silva. Meller can't control the pass. Harrisburg wanted a foul there, didn't get it. Off the boards and into De Silva goes number 17, Laidley.
That was a clear handball they missed. Florida got 2 good chances off that. It was a bad call that they missed.
Pereiras controlling on the left side. Dribbles to center. A shot, no.
You know, if you're Harrisburg now, you need to weather the storm. You're up 4. You've scored 7 goals. You don't need to score anymore. You just need to tighten up the defense and not kill yourself. Make Florida earn goals.
Harrisburg controls, or excuse me, Florida controls in their own zone to Laidley at center, and Birche puts Laidley on the ground, and that'll draw a foul.
Bit fortunate they called the foul. The advantage could have been played on. Florida would have had a quality chance on frame.
Yeah, Rico not happy about it. Reyes kicks it over. Now in deep to Diegues on the boards in the corner. Now Laidley in the center, dribbles. A shot! Too high with 5:47 to go in the third. Harrisburg by 4.
see Florida is trying to claw back into it. They're trying to force the issue in the before the fourth quarter comes. They know goals are going to be tough to come by.
Indeed. Leandro Alvar Duarte back to De Silva in the center. To Francis. To Shera at the side of the net. A shot on Sliwa. Sliwa almost dribbled through his legs, but he's able to gain control and make the save. Sliwa to midfield. To Mujin. Now back to Teixeira in the offensive end. Off the boards. Gonzaga couldn't get control of the rebound. And Francis battles for it along the sideboard. Tom Francis had it taken from him. A shot by Mujin, saved to Silva. Gonzaga controlling in the Harrisburg end. He's brought down and still made the pass to his teammate, and a foul is called, and Harrisburg will retain possession with 4:55 to go here in the third. Gonzaga in his own end. Passing it with De Silva. To Chantel. Good to see Chantel back in the game after that incident along the boards earlier. Montelaris controlling. Back to Montelaris at center. Into the slot area. Shot save! Nice save by Hugo De Silva on Ricardo Diegues. Cuba controls for Harrisburg on the offensive end. Go ahead.
Very similar to a goal that Florida scored in the first half. Kind of lose track of a man behind you, but Hugo came up with the save that time. Great save.
Florida coming the other way now. Chago intercepting and giving it to Chantel. Chantel over to Basso. Now Reyes controlling for Florida. He's trying to slow things down, set things up for the Tropics in the Harrisburg end. Into the corner it goes. Freddie Mujin centers it. Now it's out to Reyes again. Reyes to Montelaris in a pass just past Blandon. Goes into the corner. Now Dom Francis fighting two Tropics players. Teixeira falls. That's the Lucas variety for the Tropics. Now Blandon kicks it in for the Tropics. Chantel gains control in the corner. Gets it to De Silva. De Silva shoots it out. And now Reyes controls the Florida end.
Yeah, if you're Harrisburg, you got to keep playing. It's too much time left in this game to just sit back and defend. You got to keep playing. You got to try to create some chances. You know how quickly this game can change.
Yeah, Harrisburg seems like it's a little bit more on its defensive heels right now. 3 minutes to go in the quarter. The Harrisburg leads by 4. Shot to De Silva, save. Mujin trying to gain control. He can't. Another shot, and it's blocked by Basso. Basso blocked the shot of Nascimento. Now Chantel controls in his own zone, working against number 18, Rojas. Now De Silva controls, rolls it down to Teixeira. Teixeira back to Chantel. Chantel back to his keeper De Silva. Back to Chantel in his own corner. Chantel looking to play it up, but Harrisburg wants to play it, but they want to play it smart here. And Chantel is controlling now in his own zone. That could have been dangerous.
This is good by Harrisburg. Make Florida run. You just can't turn it over in bad spots, which they seem to have done.
In the Tropics control, Pereira's a shot. Nice block by Basso. Now out to Rojas. Rojas a shot. Nice save to Silva. A shot just wide for Montelaris. That could have been dangerous.
It's a much-needed whistle for Harrisburg. They were under quite a bit of a storm there, taking shot after shot. So they'll take the whistle. They're going to take their time here, regroup a bit.
As you pointed out, after that bad turnover, they got 2 or 3 good chances off of that. 1:38 to go. Along the sideboards, Miller had it taken away from him. Rojas Gonzaga picks his pocket.
You'd like to see Harrisburg get some possession in the attacking half. Slow the game down just a bit. Get to the fourth quarter with the lead.
Man, Gonzaga just picked Rojas's pocket, and he made it look easy, but it's you can tell that came from years of practice. Just little nuances like that, and Gonzaga made it look easy, but man, that's an athletic play there.
Yeah, he did well, stood his ground, made the interception. Harrisburg got to be careful here. You don't want to turn it over with under a minute left.
Kerstetter at midfield. Heading it back, now forward to Messias. Messias, a shot over the net, and it goes out of play. It was interesting, it looked like Kerstetter was playing midfield there for a little bit. Duarte takes down Mugin. Mugin also serving as the assistant coach for this Florida Tropics squad under the head coach Clay Roberts. First-year head coach for the Tropics is Clay Roberts. Shot down to Messias. Messias over to Teixeira. Val Texera to Thiago Freitas on the sideboard. And Florida tried to control, and now Harrisburg regains possession. Now Florida getting it back to Laidley. Laidley to his teammate, now controls and now loses possession. And Freitas kicked it, tried to get it past Mugin, but it bounced off Mugin with 3 seconds left. And Harrisburg, I imagine, will just kick this deep with 3 seconds to go.
Yeah, they'll be thankful to get to the fourth without conceding a goal. Florida definitely had the better of the play that third quarter, but didn't score. So that says a lot to the defense of Harrisburg.
So at the end of 3 periods of play, your Harrisburg Heat lead the Florida Tropics 7-3. Back after this on the Heat Soccer Network.
What you are about to hear are all true statements of a man that has smoked for over half a century and chewed tobacco for over a decade. Did you ever smoke?
Yes, I smoked a good bit.
When did you start smoking?
About 15, imagine.
80% of smokers start before the age of 18. 430,000 of those people die each year from tobacco, only wishing they could have stopped.
I still would like to have one smoke right now. That never leaves you. I mean, that never leaves you.
This man has spent approximately $72,800 on cigarettes total, averaging a pack a day. Additional health problems from his addiction have greatly affected his life. In medical expenses alone, he has paid $750,000 for an addiction he wishes he never started. If he could say one thing to all of you listening, this is what he would say.
It's a habit you just can't quit. It's a damn bad habit.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Klimchak.
We'll take 2 peanut brittles. Raising money for school?
No, picking on your kid at school.
What? Our Henry?
I'm the class bully.
Well, forget the peanut brittle.
Look, I'm not gonna pull any punches. Get it? But every day, I start fights with your kid on the playground.
But you...
I take his lunch money.
Honey, what do we do?
What do we do?
Hey, I've got some answers.
It's McGruff, the crime dog.
Bullies don't just walk up and introduce themselves. When kids worry about bullying, you have to read the clues. They may not want to go to school. Their grades may drop.
Our Henry hasn't mentioned a bully.
That's another thing. Kids don't want to talk about it.
I don't mean to twist your arm. Sorry. But you might want to get involved.
Well...
Oops, late for lunch. Gotta trip a kid with his tray.
How do you stop bullies? Well, with words to your kids, school administrators, other concerned parents, and by going to McGruff.org.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Friedmont Mortgage Field at the Farm Show Large Arena. Max Stevens along with gatekeeper Nick Noble, 7-3 Harrisburg in the lead. And Nick, what do you look forward to in this fourth period?
Well, Florida needs to get back into the game, so they're going to come high pressure. And if the score stays the same, you're going to see a sixth attacker come out the last few minutes. But Harrisburg needs to keep playing. 15 minutes is a long time, as we saw in that second quarter when Harrisburg scored 6 goals. So things can change quickly. So Harrisburg needs to defend well, not concede any easy chances, and needs to not give any blue cards where they're going down a man advantage.
So, the Harrisburg Heat looking to even their record at 2-2, and this is a big game in the division, Nick, as Florida is sitting at 1-1. Harrisburg currently sitting in the basement in the Eastern Division standings. Harrisburg 1-2, the Tropics are 1-1, the Blast 2-1, and the Syracuse Silver Knights 1-0. And of course, that one win coming over Harrisburg. So Harrisburg wanting to get this. This is these games in division are almost worth 2 games instead of 1.
Exactly. They're 2-game swings every division game, and it's going to come down to the end. Every team here is competitive, as you see. This game could easily be tied or even or winning in Florida's favor. So it's indoor soccer. It's a long season, and each game just sways up and down so many times.
Gonzaga, Cuba, Meller, Chantel, and Stephen Basso to start things for the Harrisburg Heat here in the final frame.
I feel that the Heat can get the first goal of this period. It should put the game away. They're going to take the momentum and take the win home.
So the Tropics setting things up here from their own zone. Getting it up to number 6, Blandon. He's working against Basso. Basso strips it and kicks it back to De Silva. De Silva over to Chantel. Chantel getting back to Gonzaga. Gonzaga getting it back to De Silva. De Silva kicks it through midfield to Freitas. Freitas, a shot! Oh my gosh, that looked like it went in, but it did not. And Messias battling forward along the corner. Chago controlling. Chantel back to Freitas, back to De Silva. De Silva controlling in his own zone. Now the Tropics gain possession. Arico. A shot on goal, saved by De Silva. Leandro Duarte. Over to Chantel, who gets it up to Perez. Perez back to Blandon, now controlling. Over to Rojas for Florida. Into the Heat end. Reyes getting it down to Rojas. Rojas over to Mujin. Now Reyes controlling in midfield. Into Rojas. Kick deep. A shot fanned on by Dieguez. Messias now back to De Silva. And it's kicked out of bounds. And Harrisburg will take possession. Basso kicks it deep. Headed out by Florida.
You can really see where Harrisburg's defense has improved. Just the effort they're putting in, how closer they're staying to players, the communication on switches. It's really paying off.
So restart after the ball out of bounds, or not a restart, excuse me, but Florida will start things after the ball out of bounds toward the Heat end. Sliwa kicks it deep. Dieguez controls. Over to Reyes. Down around the corner. A shot. Dieguez. Nice save by De Silva.
And as a goalkeeper, you love to see your defenders slide and block shots. It makes your job a lot easier when you see them put that effort in.
Absolutely. Basso controlling along the left side. Down into the Harrisburg end, and a save on Freddie Mugin.
That's where Harrisburg has to be careful. That's their possession, just a bad turnover, and it could have been a quick goal.
Perez shoots it in, but it's taken by Florida. Nascimento, a shot just missing the left corner. Messias kicks it back to De Silva. De Silva over to Gonzaga from Basso. Meller controls, cut off by Florida, and the ball rolls back into the Harrisburg end. Gonzaga has it, back to De Silva. To Duarte. Duarte trying to get the ball to his teammate, but ends up tripping Arica in the process.
Again, that's what Harrisburg can't do. An easy possession under that much pressure, you might as well just try to dump it in the defensive end and try to win the ball up there. Don't want to play too cute when you're up 4 in the fourth quarter. Don't want to turn over in bad spot, and now you're going to go down a man.
So the Tropics will go on the power play as Duarte sits in the box. With 10:04 to go here in the final frame, Harrisburg up by 4.
Big moment of the game. It takes a lot of effort and work to kill off a penalty, and at the end of the game, it's even more difficult when your legs are heavy. It takes a lot of running, a lot of commitment.
Rojas working it around. Ball off the glass by Dieguez, and it's sent back into the Florida end. 9:33 to go, a minute 28 in the power play for Florida. A shot from the top of the key, just high of the glass, and it goes out of bounds at 9:28 to go. Harrisburg will control with a minute 24 to go on the penalty to Duarte. De Silva down the field. Kicked away from Kerstetter, excuse me. Rojas brings it the other end. A shot deflected off of somebody out of bounds. And it's 9:15 to go in the final frame and 1:11 to go in the penalty. Duarte. Reyes to restart things. To Rojas. To Pereira. Dieguez back to Pereira, back to Dieguez. Ball out of bounds off Chantel. And there's a minute, 1 second to go to the penalty to Duarte. Now a minute to go, under a minute. And Rojas, a shot! That goes just above the Section 13 sign here at the Farm Show Arena. And even 9 to go in the quarter. And in regulation and 56 seconds to go to the penalty. De Silva sends it down into the Tropics end. Teixeira tried to head it past the defenders. He couldn't do it. Pereira controls into the Heat end. Reyes now. Back to Pereira. Back to Pereira. Reyes over to the center. Rojas, a shot! Kicked away by a Heat defender. I believe it was Chantel. Pereira getting it to Rojas. Rojas. And nice shot. A beautiful shot by Dieguez. A glorious scoring chance turned away by De Silva.
It's an incredible save. Off the turn, off the volley, just to reach the right hand out there. He's done well. He's had a great game. Lots of big saves, lots of good distribution from the back.
That's one of those you just shake your head if you're Dieguez and say, what do I have to do?
He's been tough to beat today.
17 seconds to go in the penalty to Duarte. 8:21 to go in the final frame here. Shot out to by Mujin on the pass on the restart. Gonzaga chasing it at midfield. He's past the keeper. Gonzaga tripped. No call. Play continues. The penalty is expiring. Rojas a shot. Basso a block. Penalty to Duarte is over. 8 minutes to go. The Heat kill off the penalty. That was a total team effort on that penalty kill.
Well, it looked like Lucio was trying to get a foul. I couldn't tell if he got nicked or not. But to get the three guys behind the ball and block a shot, a lot of quality effort there. And late in the game, those legs are dead after 2 minutes of power play kill.
Yeah, I thought Lucio was fouled. Lucio thought he was fouled, but the referees are the only ones that matter on those types of decisions. 7 minutes, 27 seconds to go. Mujin kicks it in. A save by De Silva. Rico trying to get something going, could not. Now Thiago gets it to his teammate Duarte. Duarte kicks it, couldn't get it past the Florida defender.
Harrisburg has to be careful. They got heavy legs out there. They got to put the ball on the other end. Try to win it up there. You're seeing they're turning the ball over too much in their own defensive third.
Now De Silva picks it up, and he will throw it. Throws down for Cuba. Cuba battling against Nascimento. Ball kicked up to center. Lucas Teixeira gets it to his teammate Diegues. A shot goes into the seats. 6 minutes, 38 seconds remains in regulation. Harrisburg by 4.
6:38 to play here at Harrisburg Heat 7. The Florida Tropics 3.
And it looks like we're going to have a media timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well. You're listening to Harrisburg Heat Soccer as the Heat lead the Tropics by 4 on the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network.
Check out the Harrisburg Heat merchandise stand at all Harrisburg Heat home games with new replica jerseys, both the home and the away, quarter zips, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, and so much more. It's the Harrisburg Heat merchandise, all the stuff you need to be a Harrisburg Heat fan.
Stay in touch with your Harrisburg Heat with HarrisburgHeat.com, the Heat's Facebook page, and with Twitter. You'll be kept up to date on all the scores, statistics, and happenings of the Harrisburg Heat. Read about your favorite player, find out what happened on the road game, and enjoy the company of other Harrisburg Heat fans.
Six minutes, 38 seconds to go in regulation. Harrisburg Heat lead the Florida Tropics by 4. 7-3. Max Stevens along with Nick Noble. And Nick, the media timeout couldn't come at a much better time for Harrisburg. As you mentioned, their legs probably get a little tired now.
Yeah, that was a great time for that. They needed a little pause, regroup, understand they're up 4 goals. You just can't concede any weak ones. Make them earn goals.
That is the key. You don't want to give anything away. You want to make your opponent earn everything they have to get. And a beautiful save on that power play by De Silva on Ricardo Diegues. And Harrisburg will resume things here, leading by 4, 6:38 to go in regulation.
Yeah, if we get under 5 minutes, that's when I expect to probably see the 6th attacker come for Florida. If the score doesn't change, that is.
Ball kicked back to, or headed back to De Silva. Now Chantel controls. Chantel got it to a Florida player, trying to get it to Freitas, couldn't do it. And now Dom Francis comes and helps out. And Francis is just pushed over. And Rico gets up and can't believe the call, but it looked rather obvious to me.
Dom Francis did great to work back there, block that shot, and get the foul in the corner.
So Teixeira controls now in the Harrisburg attack zone, now back to his own zone.
This is where you can't turn it over if you're Harrisburg. You can't turn it over in your defensive end.
Laidley, a shot on the turnover there. Save by De Silva. Chago in the attack zone for the Heat. Now Miller had it kicked away from him.
Too many times on the dribble. Harrisburg's turning the ball over. You got to move the ball. Pass the ball.
Look for your open teammate, right?
The ball's going to move a lot quicker.
And we have a stoppage here as Laidley last touched it.
It's a blue card. Looks like Florida's going to have a man advantage.
Oh, thank you. I did not see that. So Miller comes off. A second power play now in the final frame for Florida as they look to dig into some of this 4-point Harrisburg lead. So start behind the line. Pereiras over to Rodriguez. And back to the keeper, Sliwa, and now Pereiras back into the Harrisburg end. Rodriguez.
It doesn't look like there's a lot of urgency from Florida.
Kicks it to Reyes.
You know, if you're Harrisburg, you're going to allow them to pass it up top and try to win the ball, kill some time. Florida needs to be pushing it. Down 4 goals, 5 minutes.
Yeah, you'd think they would want to have a sense of urgency here.
Got to have some urgency. It's got to be tired legs. You know, it's a long trip from Florida. It's probably taking its toll now. As you can see, they're not connecting passes.
Rodriguez back to Pereira. Diego's a shot! A heck of a shot, and a rebound is scored.
Harrisburg just lost their defensive shape there. Got kind of tucked too far to the near post and then opened up the backside. And they executed.
Freddie Mugin gets the tally.
It's a great initial block by Stephen Basso. Not much else he could do.
I believe that's the first power play tally of the game, and it's 7-4 with 4:52 to go in regulation. So still a cushy lead for Harrisburg, but gosh, you don't want it to get any closer than this.
Well, aside from the second quarter, Harrisburg hasn't played particularly well. Just losing the ball in bad spots, too many turnovers on the dribble. Got to knock the ball around.
Shot by Rodriguez is blocked, and Dom Francis comes the other way to Gonzaga. Now Rodriguez steals it back from Gonzaga, tries to say he was hit in the mouth as the ball was stolen. I think his feelings were hurt more than anything else. Francis follows the ball into and Francis looking for a call there, doesn't get one as he claims he was pushed to the ground.
Can't be complaining about calls. You got to work back here. You got 4 minutes left.
And now another pushover on Freitas from number 6, Blandon. And the referee does agree with that one. 3:59 to go in regulation. Harrisburg up by 3. It's been a really entertaining match so far. And we're going to bring in the drama of the final 3 minutes, 48 seconds here on the Heat Soccer Network. Kerstetter controlling in his own zone. Kerstetter across the line to Gattaca. Gattaca using his body.
If you're
to
Harrisburg, you want to
off.
keep the ball. There's no reason to always put it back. Play up in the defensive third.
Chago heads it, and it goes out of bounds. Would you like to see Harrisburg go a little more on the attack here?
Just maintain possession in their in your attacking half. There's no point in putting your goalkeeper or your defenders under pressure. You know the pressure's coming.
6th attacker now. Pereira will be the 6th attacker for the Tropics. Arico over to Pereira.
This is basically like a power play. You have to communicate.
Trip there. And looking for an empty netter. Miller in the other end. As Florida keeping it away from him. And now a pass to him from his teammate, Thiago Freitas. And now Miller falls and looking for a call. Didn't get it. 2:38 to go. Here's Reyes. Getting it over to Rojas. Diegues. to Montelares. Back to Reyes in the corner. De Silva covers it. 2:20 to go.
This is the beauty and the curse of indoor. This game's not over for either team.
And De Silva wants a timeout to talk about things, and he'll get a timeout. So 2 minutes, 16 seconds to go. We'll keep it here. Harrisburg Heat leading the Florida Tropics 7-4, and yeah, it's a little more loosey-goosey than I guess you'd like to see right now at this stage of the contest.
I mean, up to this point, you've done what you needed to do to win the game. You just can't give them anything. Keep the ball in your attacking half. If you're going to lose it, you lose it there. You put pressure there. You make them go the entire length. There's no reason to be playing in the back right now. You got to finish the game. You got to manage the time.
And it looks like the refs are, in some instances, letting things go here as the game winds down and gets to the crucial moments of the contest. It looks like they're eating their whistles a little bit more than they normally would be.
Yeah, and you see that in a lot of sports. In the game, you want it to be settled on the field. The refs don't want to make the decisions that affect the outcome of games, so you expect it to be a little loosely less called on their end.
2 minutes, 16 seconds to go in the contest. 7-4, Harrisburg in favor.
At this point, it's just leaving it all on the field. It's running. It's making that extra effort to get behind the ball, to block shots, to do what you can to finish the game. It's 2 minutes. You just got to leave it out there for the win. This is a big win for Harrisburg if they can close it out.
A crucial Eastern Division battle. This would even Harrisburg's record at 2, and it would send the Tropics to 1-2 if Harrisburg's able to hold on. Ball thrown down into the Florida end. Pereira controls to Texera, Lucas Texera.
Just got to stay behind the ball if you're Harrisburg.
To Diegues, now to Lucas Texera, to Blandon, to Rojas. He put it in the center, nobody home, to kick it to the goalkeeper. Rojas controls. Over to Texera, shot, nothing doing as De Silva makes the save. 1:40 to go. Rojas in the corner to Texera. Lucas Texera kicks it out to Rojas. Rojas, a shot. Chantel kicks it away.
So far, good defending for Harrisburg. Limiting their chances, staying behind the ball, giving up shots from distance. That's what you'll accept.
Texera to Rojas. Rojas over to Pereira. No goalie for the Tropics. Bounced off the boards. Gonzaga takes it. Gives it to Kerstetter. Kerstetter shoots it down the field just wide of the net. 1 minute even to go. Final minute of play in regulation. Harrisburg up by 3. Rojas to the side to Texera. Back to Pereira. Pereira kicks it from the top of the key. Kicked outside to Rojas. Now to Texera in the slot area. No. Messias kicked it out. And now a save by De Silva.
Fantastic defending. They really haven't conceded any quality chances since they've gone to the sixth attacker. So that shows a lot to the defense.
30 seconds to go. Ball out of bounds. The Tropics will have one final shot at it, but it's looking grim now as Harrisburg leads by 4. 30 seconds to go in the contest. Rojas on the right side. Rojas, a save made by the keeper, and the ball goes into the net.
That went 3 lines, so they're going to have.
But it's going to be a 3-line. It's going to be a 3-line.
It was close. He needed it to bounce just before that second line.
And I was a little distracted because our keeper was holding his side there a little bit, like he got struck in the side, but stays on. 14 seconds to go. Tropics to restart. Texera kicks it way high, and it goes outside the.
I think that left the arena.
Exit 14 there. from the arena, and 13 seconds remain in the contest. And this one,
it's a good win for Harrisburg.
Column for Harrisburg. What's
good
that?
win. Good win for Harrisburg. You know, coming off a defeat on the road, you love to get wins at home. That's important, and division wins makes it that much important.
13 seconds to go. Messias to Kerstetter at the midfield mark. To Gonzaga. Gonzaga pushed into the boards, and the boards pushed back. And Gonzaga, thankfully, is okay. With 4 seconds to go. You can just see the boards just shift there. Where Gonzaga crashed into him. 3-2. And that'll do it. Harrisburg, you go in the win column tonight. 7-4 over the Florida Tropics. Well, Nick and I will be back to recap and put a bow on this one on the post-game show next on the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network.
Fans, be a true Harrisburg Heat fan by joining the Harrisburg Heat Fan Club. You'll enjoy all the latest news, meetings, gatherings, and postseason parties. The Harrisburg Heat Fan Club is an essential supporter of this team and its players. Stop by the fan club table at any home game or email Jerry Holtree at harrisburgheatfanclub@comcast.net. The Harrisburg Heat Fan Club, the best Heat fans around.
Welcome back to Friedmont Mortgage Field at Farm Show Arena. And Nick, what a heck of a contest it was.
It's a great game. It was a great game, great win for Harrisburg.
The Harrisburg Heat wins it 7-4. Recapping the scoring, Marco Rodriguez and Ricardo Diegues got the Heat up 2-0 in the first. Lucio Gonzaga and Thiago Freitas. Lucio Gonzaga again scored to make it 3-2 Harrisburg. Victor Rojas scored to tie it up at 3. Jose Berche, Lucio Gonzaga, and Steven Basso gave Harrisburg a 6-3 lead at the half. Thiago Freitas added another one in the third quarter at the 12:26 mark. And then Freddie Mugin made it 7-4, but that's as close as the Tropics would get. The Tropics now fall to 1-2. Harrisburg improves to 2-2, and it's a momentum possibly swinging win for the Harrisburg Heat.
Well, this was a game that we penciled in that, you know, this has to be a win, and that especially after losing, you don't want to go 1-3 at the beginning of the season. 2-2 sounds a lot better, feels a lot better for these guys. Shows you that the works that the coaches, that the players, it's paying off, and I think that's a lot to be said for, you know, a lot of credit goes to the owners. They've done a fantastic job keeping everyone together, and it's paying off.
Florida travels to Syracuse tomorrow night for a 7:05 start. Harrisburg, their next match comes next week at home against Cedar Rapids. Get your tickets at harrisburgheat.com. Thanks so much, Nick Noble, for joining us on the broadcast today. We appreciated your help.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Our pleasure. That'll do it tonight on the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network. Once again, your final score, your Harrisburg Heat 7 and the Florida Tropics 4. For Nick Noble, I'm Max Stevens in for John Wilsbach on the Harrisburg Heat Soccer Network.